Hello students. Today we are going to talk about properties of operations. Many of you might be confused about these words itself. Let me clarify those, okay? Operations means it can be your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These are the things that you do to the numbers so that you get some output. Okay, when you add two numbers you get a different output answer number, right? So these addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, these are together called as operations. Now we are going to learn about properties of operations. Now why do we have to learn the properties of operations? Just like if you think, if you know how your brother or sister will behave, then in that situation, then you will know how to deal with them, right? For example, you want something, your brother or sister to do. So if you know their nature, accordingly you will talk to them and you will get benefit out of that, isn't it? Just like that, knowing the property of an operations will help you in your calculations. It can make your calculations quicker, faster. That is the reason we have to learn the properties of operations. For these properties, we have certain names. So the first property is called commutative property. What do you mean by commutative property is if you exchange the position of numbers, will your numbers, the operation will result the same answer. For example, you have a 3 plus 4. Now if I exchange the numbers position and make it 4 plus 3, will these two things give the same answer? For addition, it will give. So addition is commutative. Now if I take a similar example, 3 and 4, but the operation that I'm going to take is subtraction. 3 minus 4. Now I want to exchange the places of the numbers. 4 minus 3. Understand that commutative means exchanging the places of the numbers. Okay. Will 3 minus 4 give the same answer as 4 minus 3? You all know it will not give. So subtraction is not commutative. Similar case with 3 and 4 when they are multiplied, right? You know that if I exchange the places, I will get the same answer. So multiplication operation is commutative. So in this way, commutative means you have to understand the idea that whether after I exchange the places of the numbers, will I get the same answer? That is the meaning of this property called commutative. The next property we will talk about is called associative. Associative means you can think of the word association. Association means grouping. So, if I group the numbers different ways, will I get the same answer? That's the question. For grouping, only two numbers are not sufficient. So, we will take three numbers, 3, 4 and 5. 3, 4 and 5. Now, what is the operation that I'm going to talk about? Let me take addition. So, first I am adding these two. Later on, with the answer of that, I am adding the 5. Now, let me take one more grouping. Let me first group 4 and 5. The answer of that, let me add it to 3. Or let me take one more kind of grouping. Let me take 3 and 5 first grouping. Then with the answer of that, let me take the 4. Will all these things give the same answer? Yes. That means addition operation is associative. Understand, the property is associative means whatever way of grouping you do, you will get the same answer. That is the meaning of associative. Now let us try and see whether our division will work for associative. Let me take the same numbers, okay? 3, 4 and 5, 3, 4 and 5. Now I'm going to do different kind of grouping. 3 divided by 4. First I will do 3 divided by 4. Then I will do divided by 5. What will we get? 3 divided by 4 means 3 by 4. Divided by 5. So the answer of this 3 divided by 4 is 3 by 4. Divided by 5, you know that fraction addition, it will change to the reciprocal. You will get it as 3 by 20. Now let us take the division for 3 divided by 5 first. Now I'm going grouping in a totally different way. 4 divided by 5 will give me a 4 by 5. Later on, I will do 3 divided by this. When I do 3 divided by this will change to a multiplication and you'll get a reciprocal as well, as you all know. So 5 by 4 it will become. The answer of that will be 15 by 4. If you see, this answer and this answer are totally different. That means division is not associative. That means whenever you change the grouping of numbers for division, it is not going to work. It is not going to remain the same answer. That is why division is not associative. But if you take the case of a multiplication, right? 3 times 4 times 5. If I group it in this way, or I group the 4 and 5 first and then multiply, later on I multiply 3. Do you think I'll get the same answer? 3 times 4 is 12, 12 times 5. Then with the 12 I multiply the 5, I get a 60. Now first I multiply 4 and 5, which gives me a 20. 3 times 20 is 60. If you see here, both the answers were same. That means in multiplication, whichever way you group, you will get the same answer. That is why multiplication is associative. You have to understand the meaning of the properties. Then very important property is distributive. And I find most of the students getting confused with this. But this is the most helpful of all properties that you can learn. Okay, that is very helpful of among all the properties. What do you mean by distributive? In distributive, you have two operations coming together. Let's say, now let me write the distributive property usually that is there in the textbooks, okay, so that you will know how to mm, connect with that and this. Usually, this is what is given in the textbooks about this distributive property. What does this mean? If you see here, there's a addition here and then there's a multiplication, two different operations. Addition is inside the parenthesis, multiplication is outside the parenthesis. What is happening? The multiplication has come inside the parenthesis and it has become 2 times. And the addition, which was inside the parenthesis, has come outside. What do we mean by that is this times C multiplied by C gets distributed to A as well as it gets distributed to B. So that is why times C is with A will give you this A times C. Times C multiplied with B will give you this B times C. And both of the things are added and you're getting this. Let us take an example and then understand this. Now if we have 3 plus 4 times, okay, 5. If I write the exact same thing as a above property given, A is nothing but 3, C is 5, plus B is 4, 4 times 5. Let us see whether we'll get the same answer. 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 times 5 is 35. 3 times 5 is 15, 4 times 5 is 20. So I'm getting a 15 plus 20 as well as you're getting 35. See, this means that addition and multiplication are coming for distributive property and multiplication is distributive over addition. That's what we say. Multiplication is distributive over addition. That means you can distribute the multiplication be having a addition in between. Multiplication is distributive over addition. Now, why I tell this is the most helpful of all uh, properties is this will help you in very complex operations, right? Now, if you have to multiply 117 times 18, okay, and also you have to multiply 117 times 22, okay, you have to do both these operations and then finally you have to add them, okay. When you have to do such a thing, just think and see how difficult the operation is going to be, like the multiplication and all. But if I use the distributive property, I can see that this 117 and 117 is same like the C. It has got distributed. It has got distributed. What do we know? Whatever is being distributed, I can take it outside. The 117 and multiply symbol, both were distributed. I can take it outside, and whatever is remaining, the 18 and the 22, I can take along with the operation given here outside. So 18 plus 22 will give you a 40. 40 times 117, you know that you just have to multiply 117 times 4. That will give you 468 and put a 0 in the outside. See, it made your life so easy. Imagine multiplying this one and then multiplying this one and adding it. That would have made your life very difficult. So distributive property makes your life easier, right? Now we will see all the different operations and all the different properties, whether they will work. As we saw, addition, yes, it is commutative. Addition, is it associative? Yes. Distributive properties, we talk only for multiplication and division, right? Multiplication is left distributive also and right distributive also. What do I mean by left and right? The thing that was getting distributed is on the right side. So that becomes a right distributive. And in the other example, the thing that was getting distributed, the 117, is on the left side. So it is called the left distributive. That's it. So multiplication is left distributive as well as right distributive. Subtraction is not commutative. It is not associative. It is not left distributive or right distributive. Multiplication is commutative as well, associative as well. Division is not commutative. It is not associative. Division, is it left distributive? No. It is, yes, it is right distributive. That means the distribution is, if it is there on the right side, it works. Meaning, now if we have 12 plus 6 divided by 3. If I have something like this, will it equal 12 divided by 3 plus 6 divided by 3? Yes, it will be correct. The distributed thing is on the right side. Now just you can count and see 18 divided by 3 will give you a 6. 12 divided by 3 is a 4. 3 divided by 2, 6 divided by 3 is a 2. 4 plus 2 will give you a 6. That means division is only right distributive. None of the other properties apply for division. For addition, it is all the properties apply perfectly well. For multiplication, all the properties apply perfectly well. For division, only right distributive property applies very well. I hope this makes the entire property list of operations very simple and very easy for you. All the properties are there to make your calculations simpler and easier. Thank you.